Welcome to this training where I, Adirisola Adio Adepoju, will teach you the 5 mistakes you are making on LinkedIn that is stopping you from accessing global opportunities. I'm excited to be here with you today. I know. Now, let's get the show started. Are you excited as I am? It's a good day to learn, and I love to teach. Now, I already mentioned my name. I'm Adering Sola Adepoju, but there are quite a few things about me. So let's get that out of the way so that kind of we know one another before we get to the main training. First thing I tell people about me is that I am an educator or I'm a global citizen. Why global citizen? I'm that person that work borderlessly. I've been to 5 continents. 90% of it is on someone else's money. Why? I have accessed 8 categories of the 10 categories of global opportunities that exist, from innovation lab to grant to jobs internationally. Name it, I have accessed these opportunities. Now, also I've worked as a design lead at Natural History Museum of London remotely. Also has the global program coordinator covering 23 locations globally at the Museum for the United Nations. Yes. Also, I'm an academic, I'm a researcher, and I have a mini MBA from IFC, International Finance Corporation, which is a member of the World Bank Group. I'm a founder of iTrade Africa, right? Like obvious. And I'm the convener of the Global Mentorship Conference. And in 2021, we garnered 15,000 registered participants from 53 countries and 25 nations as speakers. Yes. That conference had Mrs. Bukwawushika serving as a keynote speaker. So, yes, I know what I am doing, and I have a very huge network, even if I say so myself. LinkedIn has been part of the strategy I have used to maintain and garner this network. Now, it's simple. My mission, I'm on a mission to make sure that I upskill African youth. I make them get clarity, get them visibility so that they can get to the global stage and become global citizens like me. Now, I am real, right? You can find me. Just type my name on Google, you would find me. But then one of the platforms that I highly recommend people to use is LinkedIn. And of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. And why I say one place I will say, if you think someone is not real, go find them on LinkedIn. What you say there will determine whether they are real or not. Why? If you go down to my LinkedIn under recommendations, you'll see real people from across the world that have recommended me based on, like, for instance, the screenshot you're looking at is Sophonias, who reported to me as a I was a global facilitator at Museum for the United Nations. He's from Ethiopia. That's my colleague there, Pedro, who is in Denmark. We work together at UN Live. So you'll find my clients who have also taken my LinkedIn program also talk about the program. So you find, because I do a number of things, right? I'm the founder of iTrain Africa. I teach there and I also work as a 9 to 5. So let's get this going. Where else you can find me? You can find me on Instagram. You will find a lot about me. I love to joke and teach, right? You'll find a lot about me. You can check the testimonials on Instagram. That particular place I settled right there. You can check it and you see all people say about me or my programs there. Another place you can find me is on Google. I Train Africa. People gladly drop us reviews when they take our program. So just like I Train Africa, you will find our Google profile on Google. Let's go. Now that that is out of the way, I don't want you to waste your time. So if this webinar is not for you, please, you can just say, okay, it's nice meeting you, Dr. Aderisona. Can we move now? But if this webinar is for you, I'd like for you to sit tight, eliminate any form of distraction so that you can gain maximally in the next 1 hour. Now, you must be a professional with at least 3 years of experience. I don't know how to help people with LinkedIn to attract opportunities if they don't have some form of experience. Now, I help youth with no experience in my other route, which is the iTrain Africa route for scholarships, but this particular program right here is not for that. Now, If you're a thought leader, you're an experienced consultant in an industry, this particular video, you should watch it right to the end because you are going to gain a lot of insights from it. Now, if you're a youth with an impact driven or focused startup you are building, I don't mean just business, I mean a startup, something that you can scale globally. Remember, the idea is for you to access global opportunities. Now, if you're a literate professional who also wants to learn, I've had people come on my program. I didn't used to think about it, but I've had people come on my program, they learn and they go and start rendering the service of optimizing people's LinkedIn. I'm like, oh wow, like I didn't even think about that, but it has happened and people have collected $200 from their colleagues after only learning from me 1 week, rather 1 month, and they're at it. So if you are that person, literate, because you need to be literate to be able to do this. Now, why should you listen to me, Aderi Sola? My friend Evie calls me the clarity king. Why? Clarity is my superpower. And I kid you not. Like one of the major things that I've helped clients achieve when they come into my sessions, maybe for one-on-one, is clarity. You know, people that are struggling. And why is that important? I will discuss it at some part of this webinar. Why is clarity of your brand important when you're trying to use LinkedIn? I will let you know at some point. Now, also people call me the knowledge distiller. Typically, students that I teach maybe at the university or, why I have the ability to bring complex learnings into simple forms. I'm just blessed with that. One of the reasons I chose to teach, I chose to be a teacher, right? Now, I teach people weekly. My email list is about 18,000 people that learn from me from across Africa and the world. My Facebook group is about over 6,000 people learn from me every day across social media and everywhere. Now, I have also taught at the university for 2 years. Yeah, I know, lecturer. And I've been featured on Techedia, Voice of Canada, Women Radio. Please, can we go on and let's drop all these accolades? Now, because I'm a teacher, I always set goals at the beginning of my trainings. And you must have achieved that goal once you are done watching this training, right? Now, I want you to remember each of those goals. You can screenshot it so that at the end of this webinar, you're thinking, did I achieve this goal? Yes. If you don't achieve it, drop me a comment when you watch it. Now, you will understand what the unique PPP framework. Don't worry, I will explain what PPP is to you. I'm a teacher. I explain in detail. Now, you will also gain clarity on building the brand of you. This is the second time I'm mentioning clarity. It is because it is important. Your brand message is going to help you attract the opportunities you desire if you craft it well. Now, the third thing you are going to achieve in this training is you'll be able to spot 5 mistakes you are making. That is the title of this, but this training is teaching you beyond that. That you are making, that you need to avoid right now. If you do nothing after this training, make sure you correct those 5 mistakes, right? Now, let's go. The next thing you are going to be able to do once you are done watching this training is to know that your 1,500 LinkedIn connections is not a limitation, and you will know the difference between the follower and the connection and so on. You will also be able to see the 4 major ways in which you can use my unique framework to your advantage. Whether you're an early, middle, senior, C-suite executive, you are going to know. Now, the major step, the last thing you are going to be able to know is the major step you need to take to ensure that headhunters are reaching out to you in 6 weeks or less. Wow. Who here, if you are ready to stop chasing opportunities, global opportunities, and you want to start attracting, tell yourself, I, Aderi Sola, I am ready to stop chasing because I am willing to learn. Let's go. Now, there are 5 mistakes you need to correct. If at any point you need to reach out to us on WhatsApp, that is iTrain Africa, that's the WhatsApp number, +234-805-345-3099. Send us a chat and we're willing to answer you. Let's go right into the phase 1 of this particular training. My unique PPP framework that I have used to attract 30 plus global opportunities since 2017. And one thing I know for sure is I, for one, learn from people's success stories because you would always say success always has a footprint. So I'm going to be telling you based on my experience. Now, first, you need to understand what global opportunities are. These are opportunities that are borderless. Exist could be jobs, exist to people from across the world. It is not limited by where exactly you are. Now, millions of these opportunities are released annually. Jobs on LinkedIn, for instance, about 3 million people get jobs from LinkedIn annually. Scholarship, for instance, 1.7 million, that is academic scholarships, are released annually. Now, pay attention to this. You could either be applying for a global opportunity or you could be attracting them. The difference is when you are someone who is experienced, you could do both. Now, how do you do both? I always say the value you carry, like I am saying that, determines if you are able to attract opportunities. Now, as an experienced professional, you carry a lot of value to be able to attract this opportunity. You are saying, Daniela, you sure I'm very serious. Even someone that had 2+ years experience on my program was able to attract opportunities. So I know what I'm saying, that once you have experience, stay right on this training. Now, the platform I use to attract with little effort, I did not say no effort, little effort, is LinkedIn. People keep saying, Daryl, you keep preaching LinkedIn. I said, yes, because I have used it. Like 30+ opportunities. This is not how it's not biz, right? It's not child's play. So now that you know that my platform is LinkedIn, or my platform of choice is LinkedIn, I want to tell you my story and how I even got onto this whole global opportunities journey. I was just another PhD student in 2016. But here is the thing. In my department, for me to be able to complete my PhD program, I needed to secure at least a grant to fund my research. So I went on a spree. Every single day I was applying for grants, one thing or the other. Then I was tired. 1 year had passed, 1 year plus, and I could not continue my PhD. And I started to say, what am I going to do? Right? So one day I just looked at this opportunity. It was to Brazil, all expense paid, 2 weeks training on water resource. I said, why not? Let me apply for this thing. After all, it was a one page. And by the way, I'd applied for things like Slum BJ, RSM. These are long applications that take you 2 months to apply for. But this one page, I said, why not? I just applied. But guess what? I won. 2 weeks all lessons paid to Brazil. And I was like, oh, wow. Wow, what did I do? Now, there were two things I discovered in the course of me applying and applying for opportunities. I discovered that you cannot sell yourself if you do not know who you are. You are wondering, Jerry, I know who I am. You'll be shocked at what I'll recommend for you on this. Look, why am I saying if you don't know who you are, you can't sell yourself? Most of the time, whether you're applying to an employer of labor, you're applying to an awarding committee, what you are selling to them is yourself. Number two thing I discovered on my global opportunity journey is that people only offer you global opportunities because of your perceived value. I tell people, whether I'm teaching them about scholarship or I'm teaching a professional about how to attract jobs on LinkedIn, or how people should reach out to them to invite them to speak internationally for all expense paid things, I tell them they reach out to you because of your perceived value. Now, I want you to remember these two things throughout this training, because it's going to ensure you are picking the right things. Your ability to sell who you are and your perceived value. Now, the moment I discovered those two things, oh my, oh my, oh my, I started to win. I became that person that 1.5 years wasn't winning anything. I started to win back. I told you I've been to 5 continents, right? On someone else's money. I started to win. But by this time, anyway, I was over 30, right? I started to win. So when I discovered I started to win, I started to build my profile on LinkedIn. I started to project my value on LinkedIn. I started to position myself strategically in front of people that are going to offer me more opportunities. And I started to attract continuously using LinkedIn. Why? I discovered in the course of my applications for other global opportunities that once you jump bar, you're wondering what jumping bar is. Once you get to the age of 35, one of the things I also teach, you can, learn more about all these things. I teach it on I Train Africa pages or Adriosola Adepoju page on Instagram. Is that once you get to 35, your opportunities start to drop when you are applying. But guess what? As a professional, there's an advantage. You can start to get to that level where you attract instead of chase. or apply. Now, I started to replicate my success by teaching others how to use LinkedIn. Because, initially, when I started getting this, I said, oh, people would ask me, and I'm like, is this nothing, or, things like that. And they say, okay, can you help me? I'm like, of course. And I think one of the things I first started to try was, okay, I'm inviting somebody to come and speak at my program. They give me a profile that doesn't work. And I'm like, people going to attend my program if you're giving me this kind of profile. And they say, okay, do what you want. I give them back their profile. These are academics, people that have doctorate degree. People that are really good professionals. And they were like, oh, wow, during now, I look like the next best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, okay, this is not just working for me. This is working for others, which is what led me to my PPP framework. I told you I was going to tell you what that is. That is profile, platform, and positioning. Profile, platform, and positioning. Attracting for me and for others better this framework. I discovered that in my journey, what I had to do was to first build my profile, optimize my platform, which is LinkedIn, then position strategically on this platform. Now that you know this, why do you think LinkedIn actually works or has worked for me and others? I want you to take a look at that statistics on your screen. 900 plus million professional profiles as at 2023. We are gunning for a million. And I say we because I am on that platform, right? Gunning for a billion. So it means that I have access to almost an unlimited supply of network connection if I so wish. Same thing with job opportunities. I'm that person that I would tell myself, I cannot even apply for a job because if I apply, they're going to pick me. It has gotten to that stage, right? Because of my perceived value. Remember two things I asked you to remember: who you are, your perceived value. Now, from seeking a job to maintaining your personal brand, using LinkedIn is an essential part of a full-fledged professional in any industry these days. So stop right here, right now. I want you to ask you a question. If you don't already have a LinkedIn that is functional, you are wrong because there are 900 million professionals on that platform. What are you doing with it? Now, I will tell you, one more reason why I use LinkedIn is 101 job seekers submit application on LinkedIn every second, like second. Since I've been talking to you, you know how many would have submitted an application, right? That means over 8 million get submitted in what? In one day. You are saying, I know. Another thing is 57% of job seekers use LinkedIn to find a new job opportunity. Like, I know, you're covering your mouth. It's just a lot. Now, over 58 million companies. There's one thing I want you to know, especially if you're a thought leader and you are watching this. If your company is not already listed on LinkedIn, it is a disadvantage because apart from individual profiles, right, there are 58 million company profiles. Mine exist on LinkedIn. You can find me, I Trade Africa, right? And people follow my company page. People want to work with me. So it is like it is a win-win for LinkedIn and us. So right now, one of the ways or one of the reasons you should be on that platform is if you have a personal brand. Oh, I work at 9 to 5, but I have this thing. You should have a company. And one of the major things I've discovered is when people are looking for if a company is legit, they go to LinkedIn. Now, 67% of recruiters say that professionals hired through LinkedIn are of higher quality. That means, I want you to know what this is saying. That means that if somebody wanted to hire you and found you on LinkedIn and is hiring you through LinkedIn, your interview, there's less resistance because why? They already trust you. They believe in the power of that platform to sieve out nonsense. You are saying, Derry, are you serious? I'm serious. Just by having a genuine and good profile on LinkedIn, it has reduced your barrier of entry. Right? Now, every minute, 8 people are hired on LinkedIn. 8 people every minute. Since we started talking, you know how many would have been hired? Right now, every year there are over 3 million new hires through LinkedIn. You are like, and me, I've not even gotten one. I'm like, trust me, a lot is happening on LinkedIn. People are just missing out on it. Why do I say my people in Africa are missing out? Why? Take, for instance, take a look at this image. Just take a look. Nigeria, which is my country of birth and origin, has 6 million. Do you know how many behind Nigeria? We're a country of about 200 million people. Now, 6 million, 6 million. Do you know how many youth we graduate yearly? 500,000. Are you telling me that we graduate 5,000 yearly and we shouldn't be able to have at least 10, 20, 30 million professionals on this platform? Then there is something wrong. You already know how much opportunities exist on this platform. So it is simple. I am looking at the statistics and I said, you know what? This is wrong. Look at all the people that are accessing opportunities on this LinkedIn. Look at the mission of LinkedIn, which is to connect the world's professionals to make them productive and successful. Why are you not using this LinkedIn according to its mission to be successful? Now, if you are saying, oh, wow, 3 million people are getting hired, is it possible? Is this platform really, really, really? Look at me. I want you to take a look. I just, when I was putting together this training, I said, let me take a screenshot. I want to show you what is taking place behind like on LinkedIn inbox. Look at that screenshot. If you cannot see it properly, this is what November, towards the end of November in 2022. Someone in my network reached out to me and said, there is an opportunity. By the way, I took this interview, but I was pregnant. I gave it on January 1, so I was heavily pregnant. I took the interview to speak with this person. Why? I never turned down an opportunity. I just make sure that I build the connection. So even if I'm not taking it now, I can the other person reach out to me later because they already know my capability. Now it was Oxford based in the UK. They wanted to fly me in, all expense paid, to come and teach for 1 or 2 days. This was in November. One person. Again, 2023 is reaching out to me with another opportunity. And trust me, these are legit. Like these are people, like I've worked with this person before on a previous project. Like right now, you must be thinking it's because I know this person. There are several people. Don't you know people? Right? Why do you think this person is reaching out to me? There is what I call strategic positioning, and I'll be talking about that. Like, remember that PPP, right? Positioning. I make sure I stay top of mind, and there are things I do to make sure this really happens. So yes, people like you and me can get this kind of messages. I'm just showing you just one, right? There are some I can't even show someone else. Okay, now my mission, because of that ridiculous number, I looked at all the things in Africa, like Nigeria 6 million, South Africa 10 million, like that. I added it. We are on that 35 million, the strategic places, like the strategic. And I said, you know what, this is not going to happen. And I created a mission. I said, I want to have ensure that I've got at least 10 million extra professionals to be aware of that platform, be on that platform, be maximizing it for your career advancement to the global stage. And guess what? I want you to work with me. I want you to work with me. Now, how do you get started? You are saying, okay, Jerry, I've heard. How do I get started? It is first making sure the brand of you are clear on it. And this is what brings us to phase 2 of this training, the brand of you. Someone say the brand of you, the brand of you, so you can attract global opportunities. What is a brand? You must be saying, oh, Jane, the only, remember, I'm someone that breaks down complex learning to simple forms. You must be any brand in terms of products. Yes, let me explain. First, brand is a collective impact or lasting impression from all that is seen, is heard, or experienced by customers who want or who come in contact, right, with your company, your product, or your services. Then you are thinking, Jerry, am I a product? I don't even have a business. What are you talking about? I'm a professional. Stick with me. Hold your thought. Now, you are the product on LinkedIn. Say, I am the product. You are the product. Why are you the product? Because you are seeking customers. Who are those customers? Headhunters, if you are looking for new roles, jobs. Headhunter, that is recruiters. Now, you are also the products because companies, if you are looking to get hired on the board, your company, I've worked with some clients that the major reason they came to optimize their platform or LinkedIn or whatever with me is because they say, oh, I have gotten to the AGM level at the bank. I've done this, I've done that. Trust me, yes, like high profile people, politicians say, I've gotten to this. I know there is another opportunity to be on the board, be a board member. And I want them to get to my LinkedIn and say, yes, It is either R or R. It is either in or in. So your company where you currently work can be your customer. So you need to be able to sell yourself to them. Now, awarding bodies, if you are looking for global opportunities like award, international speaking engagement, they are your customers. You are the product. So how are you selling yourself to them? Now, clients, if you are looking for advisory, one of the things I've noticed is even when I'm not like when I work on people's like when I work with people to build this brand and all optimization, even if they are professionals, they're not looking to sell any product or knowledge or anything. People just keep reaching out to them and say, I will pay you for advisory. That is how good your LinkedIn should be to sell you as a product. Now, remember the definition of a brand, right? That is a collective impact or lasting impression. That is what you do, how you look, what you say on LinkedIn, right? Is how you are perceived. Remember two things I told you at the beginning of this training. Here, my professional advice is what are you doing? I'm asking you right now, stop. What are you doing? To make sure that that collective impact, that lasting impression is saying you are the value. What are you doing? Now, here is my professional advice based on the hundreds of senior level executive professionals I've worked with in the last 3 years who have gone on to attract international roles. Of course, they earn in dollars. Board roles, of course, I earn in dollars by working at the UN Life, NHM, and all those things, right? What do you think? Here is my advice to you. You need to follow a framework that works. I follow a framework. And please, like I said, framework can be sounding so, oh, what is framework? It is a model. What is a model? It means there is a systematic approach you should employ. That is, when I say something is a framework, it means that if you're an HR practitioner, if you're in oil and gas drilling, you're a business analyst, you're a data analyst, you are an health safety and environment, whatever. It means that if I say put A here, put B here, put C here, it is a framework. It means that whatever I say, for instance, in paragraph 1 of your profile, put summary of your work, something, something, something. It means that even if my work experience is in facilitation, teaching, and yours is in HSC, so far I give you a framework that is guiding you that put this here, put this here. By the time we both finish creating our profile, we would have gotten what we are supposed to do for our unique self. It will be the same thing, but it would have followed the same step. That is what a framework is. Now, my framework that I've used over the years is following that PPP, that is profile, platform, and positioning. You must be saying, Derek, but there's clarity at the top. Guess what? When I first built the PPP framework, I discovered that in the first 1 hour, I was helping people achieve clarity because what is a profile? How do you build a profile? Remember, it is about you. Who are you? So many I discovered had no clarity about who they are. So I had to include extra to my framework and remodel it to include clarity. But I still call it my PPP framework, which is profile, platform, and positioning. Now, if you already know what the framework is, that is for you to get brand clarity of you, to build a profile that projects you the right values, to now get on the right platform, which is LinkedIn, to optimize, then strategically position on that platform. That is my framework. If you can today stop and say, I'm going to get clarity on the brand of me, like on the brand, like what message do I want people to know me for? Now, I know that part, I have sorted it. You followed that. That means you've done step 1 of my framework. If you can then go to say profile, I want to build a profile. And please, when I say profile, many people assume CV. I'm not saying your CV, there's a difference. Many professionals that have used people, whether it is an app that they paid for, or, I don't want to mention names, they come with their CV and they tell me, can't you just let me give you my CV, come and help me with my, and I said, no. If I have to work with you one-on-one, I'm going to make sure that you are in that. I do done with you. I would never do done for you kind of profile building because, hello, that is what people do. And that is why you are still where you are. You keep moving in circles. They translate your CV into your LinkedIn profile. It won't work. There's a difference between your CV and your profile. Your profile is richer. You can convert your LinkedIn profile. Did I even tell you that? Into your CV. You can't, if you are converting your CV directly into your profile, it won't work. Just so you know. And that is one of the mistakes, even if I've not started mistakes. Now, let's go into the 5 popular mistakes I have seen people make on LinkedIn, and you should avoid it. Again, you see these mistakes, I will mention them just once, but oh Lord, it's going to save you a lot of stress. I've done this before. Please, 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 I'm begging you for the sake of you, do not try to reinvent the wheel. I told you at the beginning of this, when I see someone who has done something, I follow in their footsteps. I don't waste my time. I'm that person that goes to someone to say, how did they do it? And I follow in their footsteps. I'm a professional. I don't have time. I'm a busy person. I run my organization, and I also have, of course, you know how that part. Now, before we go into what these mistakes are, what do you think LinkedIn optimization is? Remember, I said you build your profile, then you optimize your platform. It's simply an optimized profile is a profile that is one that every part of your personal profile is filled out and shows audiences what you do, who you are. I'm saying it again, who you are, right? And what you are an expert in. This helps your profile rank higher in LinkedIn searches. It also builds trust amongst those who might want to connect or follow you, and of course, give you opportunities. That is what a LinkedIn, like an optimized LinkedIn profile should look like. Now, let's go to the mistakes. You see how I put P2, P1, P1? It is because I want you to identify that my PPP framework, part of the mistakes you make is in different parts of my PPP framework, like no banner. Remember, my first P is profile, my second P is what? Platform. So, no banner. That banner is on your platform, which is definitely under my P2, right? What do I mean by banner? You will soon find out. Now, job title, you're using your current job title as your header. No, open to work. Then you have few words in your about section. I told you this already. Then you are saying, please follow me. Now let's dive into each of these sections. This is what the banner looks like. Are you laughing? You're saying, ah, Jerry, I'm guilty of this. I have a blue banner. If this is what you know, something else should be there saying you have the value. If this was the only thing I saw on your profile, what should be in this thing? And by the way, if you go and check my own, it is not what it is, right? At the beginning of this, you saw what is currently there. I don't know. I change it if I wish to, but I'm just saying it's the global mentorship conference. All the speakers are invited, and there is a strategy to that. I intentionally left that there because of the strategy I know I am currently on. So yes, that is not what should be in yours, most likely. Right? Now, if this is it, please replace that banner. Replace that banner with something that is saying you are the value that will make me want to reach out to you. Now, the headline. You see that place that I put there, you can see physiologist. Why are you saying you are a physiologist to me? Like, of what use is it? Right? Now, what I want to see is how good you are at that physiology, the value you are going to offer me. So you saying physiologist, like the only people that are allowed to put physio or CEO, and please, if you are thinking, okay, I will put CEO of what's it called? CEO of Dairy and Sons. CEO, it is still not right because CEO of Dairy and Sons does not offer me value. Remember, two things. The second one is what people only offer you opportunity because of your perceived value. CEO Dairy and Sons is not showing me what value I stand to gain from you. So it is a no-no. The third thing is what? You go to your about section, that is this place that can accommodate 2006 characters as of now, and you put 100 characters. Why do you think LinkedIn allowed you 2006 characters if they wanted you to only put 3 lines? Don't be lazy. And please, if you are here and you are thinking LinkedIn is another social media platform, it is not another. It is how is it is your life because your career is your life at the end of the day, right? It is one place that you should be intentional about curating its content. Now, remember, I said my first P is what? Profile building. One of the things I teach on my PPP framework is the 4 versions of your profile that you need to write today, tomorrow, next week, next month, that will go into your banner. You see that empty banner? one of the profiles you will build should go into that banner. Another profile will go into where your header, a shorter profile. Another profile will go into what this about section. Another one, when people eventually reach, and they take different forms, right? So profile on its own is the major work. That is building profile, writing what you are putting together in terms of content is what you call the profile. Now, the last mistake is follow for follow. And I'll give you my experience. I've worked with a client before who is based in the UK. And she had actually worked with someone, a designer. She worked with two people, a designer who designed her banner, and she worked with someone who said they optimized her platform. When she came to me, right, of course, it was virtually. I only do these things virtually, right? And by the time I was pointing out to her why her profile was no longer getting that opportunity, she was like, oh, doing wow. This person has a large following on Facebook, over 40,000. So one of these days, she went to her Facebook and asked people to come and follow her. That was the beginning of her mistake on LinkedIn. Let me tell you this today. Crowd, quantity is not a thing on LinkedIn. People have 100,000 followers, 500. I'm just saying. But I'm telling you that ask yourself first, what is my aim? Do I want to have large following or I want to attract global opportunities? I always tell people, I intentionally keep my connections small. Why? I'm going to talk about connections and followers in the next phase. Are you enjoying this training? Are you enjoying this training? You should recommend this training to your friend that is a professional, a thought leader for them to watch and understand. Now, let's go. I'm going to be addressing the follower for follower or whatever it is you people call it, kindly follow back kind of thing under this particular phase 4. Now, there's a difference between connections and followers. That's the first thing you must understand. On LinkedIn, right? At the top of your profile, if you pause this video right now, you go at the top of your profile, you could see two things. That you are seeing connect or you are seeing follow. On some people's profile, you see connect, on some people's profile, you see follow. You must be asking yourself, what is the rationale for this, right? First, what are connections? Connections are members who connect on LinkedIn because you both know and trust each other. If you are connected to someone, you'll be able to see each other's shares, updates on LinkedIn feed. You can also send them messages on LinkedIn. I want you to take note of two things, know and trust. So back to this, my client, what do you think she did? She just wanted, she started accepting people's connection requests. By the way, 30,000 is the maximum connections you can have, but you can have unlimited number of followers. Now, who is a follower? Someone that is following you on LinkedIn. That is, we are following someone. It allows you to see the person's posts and articles and whatever, but the person is not seeing yours. Now, it means that your connection, you are both seeing one another's updates. If you are following someone, if you are following me, for instance, I don't see your updates, but you will see my updates. Now, what do you think? Should I connect or should I follow? If you are asking, should I accept? The question should be, should I accept someone's connection or should I refuse so they can follow me? If you are accepting someone's connection, it means that you know them and trust them. Most likely, they should have worked with you before. You should know them from school or something. Something. And there are people you don't know, but you want to connect with. Why? Because you want them to be part of your network. Now, I teach strategies on how I make sure influential people that I need in my network accept my connection. Now, at the center of the strategies I teach, I said, remember your perceived value. People do not. People do not what? People do not follow you because you sense them connection. Which is one of the reasons why you see that open to work on your thing that you're saying, I'm looking for work, I'm open to work. It is not a good idea. Why? Think about it. The moment you see open to work, even if the creators, people have argued this with me, and I tell you that I am not a creator of a platform. A creator, if I create a platform, I want you to use all the functions on it, right? But if you are a user, I will choose the functions that work optimally for me. That is the difference. So I am teaching you as a user, not as a creator. And I will show you Zainab at some point in this webinar. Zainab, who had opened to work for 1 year plus. When I'm saying something, it is because it is what has worked for me or worked for a client that she had 1 year, she had 2+ years experience. She was looking for work. She had opened to work there 1 year plus. No one reached out to her on LinkedIn. Then she came on my program. And she did that in February of 2022. In 2022 April, she sent me a chat and like a WhatsApp like, "Hey, Auntie Derry back there." I said, "What is it?" And she said, "Me that I am open to work since forever. No one reached out to me." That is how somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn today to tell me that can I come for a night? That was even asking me my convenient time. And I said, "Really?" I said, "Derry, your strategies work?" And I say, yes. So even if, and why is that? You remember the statistics at the beginning of this training where you said 199 million people use LinkedIn in the US. Most of the research is based on that demographic, not as an African user. So I have vast experience of what has worked for me, what has worked for my clients. My clients, and trust me when I say my clients, Africans that live in the UK, US, Canada, and all that, Nigeria, Ghana. You know what? Let's continue with this. So, when next you decide to say, I want to accept someone's connection, LinkedIn is not the place that you say, I want to pity this person. If the person is not someone you know, trust, or is of value to you, you can let them follow you. And that is why some people say, I sent you connection request, you didn't accept. Sorry, I won't accept. Because if I didn't know you, trust you, or you are, of your perceived value to me, I won't accept. Why? I tell you one thing for free, which I also teach on my program. I say, for instance, the kind of people my colleagues are like you and live, for instance, they can see my articles. I'm connected with them, first, level connection. I'm connected with them. It means that if I accept you into my connection, it is possible for them to see what you are writing, what you are posting about. Guess what happens? You can harm me if you are not a kind of person that I know, trust, and is of a certain level. Are you understanding why I'm saying this right now? I teach more of that. There's a deeper thing, but you know what? I don't have time. Let's go into the 5 major ways in which you can use LinkedIn to your advantage, irrespective of your years and field. Now, the first major way which everybody almost knows about LinkedIn is for jobs. Listen to me. I said, listen like this. If you know nothing, please know that your CV, the regular CV you know, is not as valuable as your LinkedIn anymore. Why? LinkedIn is your 21st century CV. I tell people that people open your LinkedIn before they open your CV. Again, listen to me. Even if you are applying conventionally, right? People visit your LinkedIn before people open your CV. Now, remember, LinkedIn has 900 plus million members, 58 registered companies. Of these users who frequently engage, 40% access it on a daily basis. That means over 1 million daily, as a billion interactions in a month. However, LinkedIn is sparingly used. People do not really go there, especially in Africa. So you only have a few minutes to make an impact. I repeat, you only have a few minutes to make an impact. What I've seen people do on LinkedIn is they go to their educational sector and be putting their school. Do you know where your educational sector is on your profile? I would have passed your banner, your header, your about, your featured, your. Then I now go to your this thing. Ask me or think about this. How do you ensure that of the 17 minutes I spend in a month on LinkedIn, if I ever jam your profile, I want to stay there and spend that 17 minutes. Now, the second thing people use this platform for, and you can use this platform, is to board roles, especially if you have 10 plus years experience. Yes, people have reached out to me to come and be on their board, and I have declined. I don't have time. But I'm just saying, those are the kind of opportunities that comes to me. From LinkedIn is where they reach out to me to come and feature on Voice of Canada. That is where I got like, you know what? Don't let me go into all that. But I'm just saying that that is one other way you can use LinkedIn as a professional. The third way is your website for your personal brand. You don't have to, say I have a website. Your LinkedIn is enough website. I love that platform. Everything you need to display can be displayed on LinkedIn, and it is search engine optimized. I can't go into the details of how search engine optimized it is, but think about it. If you are ever present on LinkedIn and you're active and you search yourself on Google, LinkedIn will rank top. You know what? I really want to save time. I said this was going to last about 1 hour. I don't want to exceed, right? If your company needs to be seen, you're a thought leader as a legit company, you had better be using LinkedIn. Now, the fifth way people have used my teaching is to monetize it as a service. And why is that? I searched on Google, like how much people search or pay, rather pay to optimize LinkedIn. And they said $300 to $500. I said, yes, I'm not joking. And for a second, when I first started, like, until one of my clients, EVA Folashade, right, took my service. And the thing worked for her because someone from Netflix reached out to her. And she was like, Jerry, I went to tell my friends, and they were like, oh, when did you just join this babes program? Like, and they were like, can you do my profile? And this girl charged them $200. Like, she learned it within 6 weeks. She was charging someone, and they're like, oh, wow. She's a professional with 12 years experience. You can find her on my Instagram page. You will see, and that is also what is on your screen. She charged people. She got, as in, she didn't get that Netflix thing, but she got another one for a German company. She was sitting in Nigeria, working remotely, and getting paid in dollars. Now, another way is monetization as a teacher. Initially, I did not have a program for LinkedIn. I only had a program that was called A to Z, and people would come. It would cost them a lot. But part of that program was this profile building for LinkedIn, right? And someone took my knowledge, used it, implemented within 1 year. She had created her own thing and was teaching people. And that's how she sent me the screenshots. Now, those are the five major ways you can use it. Now, the sixth thing I promised you are going to achieve in this training, in this webinar is what? You will know the major step you need to take on LinkedIn to ensure headhunters, recruiters are the ones reaching out to you in 6 weeks or less. You are not chasing. You are a professional, you have experience. You shouldn't be chasing. Like I always tell people in my local parlance, wahala no dey tire you. Me, are you not tired of chasing? Now you must be saying, Jerry, what is that major step? What should I do right now to stop chasing and start attracting? Before I say what you need to do, what do you already know right now? Let's do a quick recap, right? LinkedIn is your 21st century CV. Please, if you must invest, I always say if I had maybe $1 and they told me that that $1 can either optimize my LinkedIn or my CV, I would choose my LinkedIn. Trust me. Now, that's at least 320 people have been hired through LinkedIn since you started watching this. Why? 8 people get hired every minute. And if you spend 40 minutes here, 320 people got hired while you were watching this training. You know that you have access to 900 million people on that platform. Professionals, I'm not saying people, better people. You also know that you need to first build or at least get brand clarity of who you are. You also know that the next thing on that framework is to now build a profile, which is the content that goes into all those sections. The next thing is to optimize the platform. And I told you what optimization is. The next thing after doing all that is to strategically position. Guess what? More than 80% of the people that are using LinkedIn skip all this step, then go and start searching for jobs. I can give you, like, I have an ebook that is 3,000 Naira. That's like $7. That shows you this is where you go to on LinkedIn to search for jobs. But guess what? They come back and say, oh, I didn't, they didn't pick me. And I said, why? Like, did you follow the initial framework? No. Now, you also know, another thing you should also know by now is that there is a thing called the people framework you need to follow, which is what I have used since 2017 to attract this opportunity. Don't reinvent the wheel, right? This my unique framework can be used in 5 different ways to your advantage, and I've listed them. Now to the major thing you need to do. I know as a professional, time is your scarcest resource. At least it is mine. I would rather give somebody money than give the person time. I don't have time, right? So if what you choose to do right now is to say, oh, I would go figure, like I would do trial and error. Remember when I started accessing global opportunities, and I had time at that time. I was a student. 1 year plus of energy. And if you know me personally, I can do something over and over intense. Why? I ask people why. Why do you want to invest in trial and error? I, Aderinsola Adio Adekoju, I have trained hundreds of professionals on and abroad. People come to chat me on WhatsApp and say, oh, I asked this UK person and they are going to give me something cheaper. You know, they say something like that. And I'm like, guess what? I have a client who worked with me. She's currently out of the country in the US, who went for an MBA. And guess what happened with her? She got to the class. A representative from the creators of the platform came and taught her. And she told me, she called me, she said, Jerry, your head is correct. I said, why? He said, what that means is like I'm very smart. I said, Jerry, thank God I took your program before leaving Nigeria. I said, why? He said, a lot of the recommendations they gave me in class today would not work for me as an African. And I had to walk up to this lecturer to say, ma'am, it won't work. And she said, why? And she explained to this lecturer that even if you're the creator of the platform, what you've told me is based on the demographic of the US, which is about 200 million people. How they use LinkedIn, it works for them, not how it will work for me as an African. And the woman was like, oh, well, of course she had worked with me. She had traveled at this point in time. She had gotten them, you know. So she knows the method works, this PPP framework. Now, if you are African and you want to skip trial and error, you should do this. You understand the importance of experience as a professional. I have worked with 27 plus roles as a professional, as a 27 plus roles, different sectors, oil and gas, naming HSC. That is the beautiful thing when you're following a model. Whatever sector you are, if it is a model, it is plug and play. If I say put this here, put this here, put this here, it is a framework. So a question of it will not work for me because I'm in HSC in academia. I've worked with associate professors that are willing to build their brand on LinkedIn. I've worked with people with 32 plus years experience in oil and gas, Dr. Charles. If you go to my iTrain Africa Google review, you can look for him there. He dropped a review for me on Google. It's at the beginning of this training. He has 32 projects in oil and gas. And I've also worked with Zainab, who is in HSC with 2 plus years experience right now, maybe 3 plus years, right? I've worked with beginning, middle, senior, C-suite executive, AGMs of banks, people with 79,000 LinkedIn followers. You know, it doesn't matter. I always tell you, remember, it is quality over quantity. Why am I telling you all this? I'm inviting you to the global stage with me. I already told you where, you know me, all that, where I've worked and all that. You know all these things. So at the point I was creating this training, I had to take a break to say I was going to create this training. I am that busy. Now, this is not me selling you another course or saying, oh, no. It's just me inviting you to the global stage. You can choose to. It doesn't stop me from earning my dollars, all right? You can choose to, and you can choose to say, oh, of course, I'm not ready. It just depends on when you want your career advancement to be. You decide. I'm inviting you to invest in your own development. And when I say invest, I'm not just saying money. I'm saying time. Because most of the time I want to work with professionals, they will tell me, I don't have time. And I'm like, you are too busy. You are too busy for your career advancement. That is not the thing. You should never be too busy as a professional. If you have to take 1 hour of your night, and when I say you are ready to invest your money, your time, your resources, whatever it is, I did that. I dedicated time to optimize my CV. Even if I know this thing, it cost me time. It cost me time to do it. So are you ready to invest? If you are, here is how I can help you. There is one, and trust, when I say here is how I can help you. I used to only work with senior people And guess who made me create this particular thing? My sister Zaina. She kept begging me in 2021. She said, Auntie Derry, please, I can't afford you. By the way, she paid for this program when she first took it. He said, I can't afford you because I only worked with senior people as at that time to teach them what I know. He said, can you create something that we can get and watch and we can implement this? And I said, okay, I'll think about it. So at the beginning of 2022, I had some time in January. And I said, let me create, no, I think February. And I created it and I called it the LinkedIn bundle offer. This LinkedIn bundle offer, what exactly is in this LinkedIn and what exactly is this LinkedIn bundle offer? It is a complete pathway for professionals to secure global and international opportunities using LinkedIn. It's a complete pathway. Now, why do I call it a complete pathway? And what is in a bundle? When you say something is in a bundle, it means things are put together. There are 5 different offers, independent products that I used to sell. Then I discovered that when I sell one to someone, the person is saying, I want the other one. I want the other one. So from my experience, I say, you know what is going to happen? I'm going to bundle all the things you need to succeed and advance to the global stage into one offer. And that is why I called it a LinkedIn bundle offer. There are 5 things. What 5 things are inside this offer? And how can you access it? The first thing in this bundle is an online course. It's totally self-paced, that is online. In this bundle, it is a 5-hour online course. When you say, oh, I don't have time. If you did 30 minutes every day, you finish it in a week. Now, 5-hour online course I taught in a workshop style. Whenever I'm teaching people about LinkedIn optimization, I don't, this is not, this is talk, this is webinar. In my workshops, like workshop, I'm showing you my screen. This is your display picture. Do it like this. It is a workshop where you are going to be watching. It is watch me do it. That is what a workshop is. That is what this online course is. I taught it to them in a workshop style, and you see exactly what I'm doing. If you follow it, you are going to get it. Now, you can access it. That is the first thing inside this bundle. The second thing, remember I said my framework is what? Building, getting brand clarity, building a profile, optimizing your platform, strategically positioning. In the first online course I just showed you, it covers how you achieve clarity and how you build the profile, that is the content that is going to go on your platform. That means that if you want to say, the only thing I want from you is one thing, I will say take that one. Why? I will say because it will teach you how to identify yourself, understand yourself, and build the content that you can now use to sell yourself. The second thing in this bundle is LinkedIn optimization and strategy positioning course, another 5 hours. Also a workshop, also an online course that is already available on iTrain Africa's website. You can go there and find it right now. But I put it in this bundle. I said, you know what? That is the second thing you need on your journey. Remember, this bundle is a complete pathway. Self-paced, it is available on the website right now on our LMS, that is Learning Management System. If you get it, you can watch it like now. The third thing in this bundle is what? Is my LinkedIn beginner ebook. It's a 45 minutes read. Ask people, like go to my iTrain Africa, Google this thing. See how many reviews you have of that ebook. 45 minutes read. Easy to read. It's an instructional manual to say, go to LinkedIn, open, like if you're watching this and you've never opened it, like it is a beginner, easy to read, follow kind of thing. 45 minutes from scratch. If you want to learn from scratch, that is the third thing I added to my bundle for you. Now, the fourth thing in this bundle, this one is essential and I added it as a bonus. It's my 2-level support. I discovered that when people took that online course, they would say, I understand it, but I need access. I need to ask you questions. So I sat down in the last couple of months. I said, I cannot support you one-on-one. I am a busy person. So I decided to say, okay, you know what? If you take this particular program, I will come live for 4 weeks. No extra cost. I added it to that bundle. And in those live sessions, workshop every Saturday around 5 p.m. West African time, per cohort, that is per batch, people come live, ask their questions. Some people even get clarity in this session because some people will take this and say, I still don't know what to position for. Those live workshops, they get clarity. They get free templates. You remember I said that when I was going to apply for my job, this thing, I like recommendation came from LinkedIn. Then they asked me to submit my CV and my cover letter. One of the things I discovered is people do, and please, I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but I work one-on-one with clients. I said that, and I ask them to give me their CV before the session starts. And I look at it, I will say they have paid people, professional CV writers, and I'm like, your CV is not of global standard. They're like, I paid. I said, I know you paid someone because if you did not pay, it's not even this okay. But I can spot what is wrong. The last client I worked with, PJ, he told me, he said, Jerry, I paid this person money to optimize my CV. It came back. I knew there was something missing, but I did not know what was missing. After 2 hours of working with this guy, he said, Jerry, God will bless you. He said, because I can immediately tell you this was what was missing on my CV. That I was doing wrong. I don't charge for this on this program. I give it to people like extras, templates, if they show up for those live workshops. Like there are so many things I give them in those live workshops. Why? When people get on my program, I always like, I keep giving. I keep giving. That is just me. Like I keep giving. Now, the fifth thing in this bundle is WhatsApp support. I discovered that in the past, people used to blow things that comes to them. Why? They get people, if you follow my framework, people will reach out to you standard, right? Like I said, Zainab, they reach out to her. She was like, Auntie Jerry, what should I do? In the past, people could not easily reach out to us on WhatsApp and say, what should I do? But I tell you that when you implement, people want to ask, oh, should I tell them this? Should I give them this profile? Should I give, they want to ask their questions when they start getting the opportunities. People used to blow it at that level. One of my clients got reached out to for a $70,000 job, and she didn't reach out. That thing did not end up working. Until today, I feel pained. But because before my support, if people want to talk to me one on one, it's over $200, right? One on one, right? To just talk to me for an hour. So one of the reasons, but in this bundle, I'm giving it as free 3 months. WhatsApp group, people are asking their questions. Every time people join, every batch that people join, there are at least people from 4 different countries in that group. Every group. Why? People work with me from all across the world. So one of the benefits I've seen on when people join my program is they start to build their own network right from the WhatsApp group. And when I say network, I'm not talking about a network of nonsense people. No. Imagine professionals that are working in all these countries in your WhatsApp group. It means that they come correct. People start, and this also is not paid for when they join this bundle. That is the fifth thing in this bundle. You must not be saying, oh, wow, during all that. Yes, I told you it was a complete pathway. Now, what do you not need on this program? You don't need to have built a large following on LinkedIn. I have worked with Augusta. Augusta had 163 LinkedIn connections. You don't need to show up every day on LinkedIn. It's all like Naira plan. They say dance in the morning, dance in the night. No. I will tell you, you can show up once. My client, I work with her. She's an AGM of the bank right now. She showed up once in 2 months. And they still called her for a board role within our organization. I always say, when I work with you, I show you strategic things to do, not be everywhere. Now, you don't need to show up every day on LinkedIn. No. So if that is what is stopping you, forget it. Now, you do not need 6 months. I have worked with people that 5 days. Augusta, we did a profile on Saturday. By Thursday, people reach out to her. I've worked with Mayowa. We did on Saturday, Wednesday, they were asking her to come and be the chief technology officer of a startup. And some people have waited 6 weeks, Phoebe. Some have waited, like that. It just depends on what you bring to the program. Now, you do not need a laptop to watch the courses on this program, but you would need a laptop on my program eventually. Why? There are things I recommend to you on the program. Some of it is article, that some of those functions you will not see it on your mobile on LinkedIn. As in your LinkedIn, when you put it on your LinkedIn app, you won't see it. So I would say to watch the courses and learn, you don't need a laptop. But to implement certain aspects of what I recommend to you, when you are done taking the program, you will need a laptop to do it. Now, you do not need to have abroad friends. I've seen people that will say, Jerry, it is because you have a network. I have a network that is called Unleash. I have people from 163 countries in that network. I'm an ambassador for Sub-Saharan African region. You can Google me, you'll find all these things. I'm a 2 years ambassador to this thing. This particular network took me to Singapore in 2018, right? Now I was an ambassador for 2 years on this particular thing. I have access to people from 163 countries. People would think it's because of that. I said no. It may have helped me, yes, but I have also worked with clients that don't have any abroad friends, and they also implemented and they got results. You don't need to be doing just one thing. 90% of the clients I've worked with are multi potential. Like they say, they have scattered experience. On this program, I have helped people who have scattered experience bring it together or who are transitioning to all still get international or global opportunities. You don't need to have had clarity. One thing I've discovered stops people from joining programs like I don't even know what I'm going to be known for. Join the program. I help people do that in the live workshops. Now, what you however need, and I cannot lie to you, please, if you don't have these things, please don't join. Don't join. I can't like somebody paid us recently and she did not have these things. I told my staff, why no, please, I can't. Like, what am I going to do with this? I can't, like, if you are not literate, I cannot help you on LinkedIn. Please, you must be able to read and write. You must be literate. Now, you must also have the mind that understand that your work, like your growth, needs work. I don't perform miracles. I don't perform magic. People implement and they get results. If you don't, you get nothing. And I'm saying that again. If you know you are not ready for your own growth, please, you know you cannot do the work, don't join me. And I say it clearly, don't join me. Now, if you know you don't have at least 2 years of work experience, and I put a caveat on that, if what you want to use this program for, and I will say it, are you applying for a scholarship? You don't have work experience, right? But you want to get a scholarship because I've done it for someone that applied in Asia Africa before, like that was looking for scholarship for school abroad, and by the way, he got it to $35,000 for 5 years PhD. One of the things I recommended to him was to build a LinkedIn profile. We work on it together and all that. He didn't have experience, right? But I said you are using it to get a scholarship for school. So when I say if you don't have experience, but you maybe you're trying to get a scholarship for school, you also still need this program. But in that framework, there are things I recommend for people like that. So you can join. But if you are using it to look for work, board roles, and things like that, if you don't have at least 2 years, I can't help you. Don't join. Now, the experience could be work, it could be a volunteering experience, but you must have some form of experience. Now that you know what we need, I want to tell you again, many Africans from across the world will rather learn from me because my framework gets them the desired results, even when they work with people from across the world who say they can do these things and they don't get results. I had a client reach out to me from UK and he said, I'd gotten to the interview stage. He stays in London, right? And he said, but they looked at my LinkedIn and they kept telling me something wasn't like that it didn't understand why. And I said, you know what, let me take a look. I said, they won't hire you. And he said, why? I said, I can see this. And they were like, wow. Right now, that guy is on a project. This happened in January of 2023. Right? What I know is based on my usage as an African. And I will teach you that everything I know. Now, if you are saying, oh, will it work? Meet Phoebe. Here is what Phoebe said about the program. And you can type this link right now, you'll see her there. She gave us this thing herself. She said, after learning to write my profile and position with it, I was approached to serve on international professional boards. And hiring managers keep reaching out to me to poach me. You know, when you are in a job and people are saying, please come to us, we will offer you this. That is what happens. You know, I have people come to my program and say, I don't even need a job. I just want to be, visible. I want to build my personal brand. And people start, many professionals that come to me, that will say, I just want to be visible. I reach out to them 2 months later and say, oh, how is it going? And they will say, hey, Jerry, I'm now building a personal brand because people are asking me for advisory. So I'm having to create seller link for people to pay me because like I can't keep refusing them. That is what happens to professionals that come, even without the intent of getting that. That is Phoebe. Now, of course, Evie, we went to secondary school together. We lost touch. Then she saw me. She saw me on social media. She was like, okay, what she first did was take my $12 program to see what I had. She sent me a text message in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. and she started saying, Derry, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you show me this? Evie started working with me in August of 2021, I think. By March, she was out of the country. And Evie is someone that learns this thing. She's the one I showed you earlier. She had worked in 3 countries before coming to work with me. Like, so she's not like she was a local champion. No. She was like the kind of opportunity she got within 6 weeks after working with me on her profile. Said she had not gotten it in the 12 years she had across 3 countries. So it doesn't matter. Read from her. She was the same person that said that she learned it. She went to charge her friends $200 within 6 weeks. She said, Jerry, the money I paid you for this program, I'm going to make it back before the program even ends. And she did. And of course, she stopped because she got busy. She started working with a German company remotely, and she was earning, and she didn't have time. Now, here is one Augusta said. She's an oil and gas professional, 12 plus years experience. Said she had 163 LinkedIn connections. She came to me. She was not looking for a job. She wasn't looking for a job. I would be playing like, but she said, Jerry, after we worked on this thing, by the end of it, she said, Jerry, I feel I'm too seen. That was a complaint. She said, I'm too seen. Should we downtone this thing? I said, how? What do you mean you are too seen? She said, people are reaching out to me. Like, she turned down an opportunity to add an oil and gas in sub-Saharan Africa. And those ones now came back to say, Augusta, can you recommend somebody within your network? You know, the kind of program you get on, and people start saying, if you don't have anybody, please still recommend to us. That is the kind of thing that it would work. Zaina, she had 2 years experience. I already told you. She had open to work 1 year, nothing. She implemented my program 6 weeks. She got ripped out. She asked just the BSc. So it is not a question, it is a framework. Once you do it, it works. Here is what PJ worked with me one-on-one in April of 2023. And after first 2 hours, like I told you, when someone is working with me one-on-one, we spend 4 hours on building profile and clarity, the second 4 hours on this thing across 2 different sessions. That is what happens when somebody people, but I can't take a lot of people one-on-one, and that runs into thousands of dollars, like when people work with me one-on-one, right? Well, on this program, when he worked with me, he said, Dearing, this is the best 500K, that's Nigerian Naira, I've ever spent. That's like $1,002. He said, why? And he said it in the first 2 hours. First 2 hours, we had not even done anything. All we had done is clarity. And he was like, oh, wow. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, you can go to my Instagram profile, click on my highlight, you would watch on the Zoom session with her, you go listening to him say it yourself. Now, no, this program I'm asking you, this LinkedIn bundle offer is not 500,000, it's not $1,002. But the total worth of the products I put in the bundle, like if I individually, when you add it up, it is 393,000 naira, which is $913. But guess what? Can you guess how much this bundle is? Guess. 100,000 naira, $233 as of today. You must be saying daring. The price is less than what you charge, even if the only thing you do with this knowledge is saying, I want to render it as a service to my friend. The price you pay me is cheaper than it. If the only thing you do, right? I said if you rendered it to two friends at $200 as per JJC, like she doesn't really have much, $200, that means she collected $400 back. So if the only thing you do with this knowledge is to say, I know it worked for me, I want to collect my money back from somebody, you would have made your money back. Why am I offering it at this? It's simple. I have a mission, and I said it at the beginning. I want to ensure that that ridiculous number of having 35 million Africans on LinkedIn, UK has 35 million. The whole of Africa, like, why? I want to make sure I reduce it. And this is the best way for me to do it. To make sure that whatever it is I set for people, they can get in and implement and get to the global stage. The opportunities are numerous. I always say it is lonely at the global stage as an African because not many of us are there. And I need you to get there. Now, there are two things you could do. You could say, Dr. Derisola, I like you. Thank you for this training. I would like to get on this program. You can do that right now by typing this URL, www.itrainafrica.com/LinkedIn offer. Get it right now. What happens if you get it right now? Like right now, right? You get access immediately to the LinkedIn course. You get access immediately to the profile course. You get access immediately to the LinkedIn ebook. Now, you wait for the next batch of the live workshops. Like I said, the live workshops will take place in February, April, July, November to December, depending on my schedule. Please ensure that you join as soon as you can. I always say, this is what I charge for this bundle as at today that I'm recording this. I cannot promise you it's going to be the same. But I can promise you that the knowledge, if you implement it, if you implement it, people come. There's a client that worked with me in December of 2022. She reached out to my assistant to say, can I speak with Mrs. Aderi Sola for 30 minutes? I booked a meeting. She came back and said, ma'am, I want to pay you money, 7 figures, like over 1 million. And I said, why? She said, I want you to continually support me for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year. And I said, why? I said, the opportunities are coming, and I want you to be able to recommend to me one on one. People don't pay me and they say, oh, they regret. No, it doesn't happen. Like they come and say they want to pay me more. See what EVS I said, "Jerry, I feel like I owe you tithes." That is what happens. Now, the second option could be like Dr. AAA. My student in school called me that, right? I like you, but I need further clarification. Please, that is the WhatsApp number. Type it right now. Send a message. During work hours, we're going to reply you. The third thing could be, Dr. I like you, but I need to plan for this. Join the wait list. Join our Telegram group. I keep educating you. I keep giving you updates about this program on the group. The fourth thing you could be, or where you could be right now, is Dr. I like you, but is it more than this LinkedIn? Is it more than LinkedIn optimization? Is it not just like CV? Is it that deep? That's my face to you right now. Like, what? Is it that deep? I'm asking you, is your career that deep? It is beyond LinkedIn optimization. Many people that have come on this program will say that it was a turning point in my life because the moment I took the first part of your course that helped me achieve clarity in my life started accelerating. Some people, like you saw what that other person that monetized said, I did not finish the program. That was the other program, A to Z. Say why? She got clarity. She knew what she was doing already, right? So it is beyond me teaching you about LinkedIn optimization. It is me building your life because your career is your life, and I want you to take it seriously. And I'll be rounding up right now. If you do not remember anything from this 1 hour plus training, remember this: you cannot sell yourself if you do not know who you are. I repeat, who are you? I help you achieve that on this LinkedIn bundle. Second thing, people only offer you opportunities because of your perceived value. Does your LinkedIn say you are the value? The third thing I'm going to add is the people who get offered global opportunities are not necessarily the best. I do not say I'm the best in anything. There are people who will know the job I do at my international jobs more than I do. But guess what? They are not being offered. Why? It is not necessarily the best. It is the people that show that they are the value. How are you showing that you are the value? Do not be so valuable, but remain hidden. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please send us a WhatsApp message. Registration is currently open for the LinkedIn bundle offer. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am still Aderi Sola Adiu Adepoju. Bye bye.